What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing Week 1 reactions and takeaways for the NFL. And starting off with Thursday Night Football, we have the Eagles beating the Cowboys 24-20. And this game was honestly a lot closer than I thought it would be. The Cowboys honestly played pretty well considering the circumstance. Now, I honestly have some concerns with the Eagles considering that Jalen Carter did what he did. He spit in Dak Prescott's face before the game started and got ejected, which is a big reason why this game was probably close in the first place. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they did win. They beat their division rivals, so good for them and good for the Cowboys for managing to keep it close. Alright, and heading to Friday Night Football, for the first time in Justin Herbert's career, he was able to defeat Patrick Mahomes head-to-head. So good for him for finally doing that. And yeah, this is a shock. I thought for sure the Chiefs are going to win because it's week 1 and they usually win games like that. But no, the Chargers, they shocked the world and they beat the Chiefs. And I gotta tell you, the Chiefs don't look that good. I mean, granted, it's the Chiefs, so they don't really need to look good, but they just did not look good at all. I mean, Mahomes looked good, but outside of him, I mean, they really didn't have anybody. And then with the Chargers, Justin Herbert had a great game, obviously. Keenan Allen had a good game. Actually, Quentin Johnston had a good game, too. I know that was pretty unexpected, but yeah, the Chargers were able to get a surprise win against their division rival, who is a dynasty. So good for the Chargers, and we can all hate on the Chiefs for a little bit. Alright, and heading to our first 1 o'clock game of the Sunday slate, we have the Colts blowing out the Dolphins in probably Daniel Jones' best career game. And they actually scored on every single possession they had. So good for the Colts who were able to do that. They really surprised me in a good way. And they might not be as bad as I think they will be. I mean, I had them at 5-12, but I definitely think it could be higher if they play like this every week. As for the Dolphins, it's a disaster in Miami. Mike McDaniel doesn't have a grip on the locker room. Tua looked terrible in this game. And, you know, the Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle didn't do anything either because of how bad Tua was. The only decent Dolphins player was Devon Achane. But, I mean, that's not going to be enough, clearly. I mean, you lost to a team that I thought was going to be a top five draft pick team. I mean, this is bad. And I really don't know where the Dolphins are going to go from here. Alright, and heading to our second Sunday game, we have the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers beating the Jets and Justin Fields by 2 points in a surprisingly high-scoring game. I mean, I definitely wasn't surprised by the result. I did think the Steelers were going to win, but oh man, this was a very high-scoring game. I did not think this would be a shootout. And honestly, I have to give credit to the Jets. I mean, even though they lost, they kind of proved that they can hang in there. I mean, I still don't think they're going to have a great record, but they're not going to be an easy team to beat. And as for the Steelers, I mean, your defense is a little concerning, but for the first time, I feel like since I've started watching football, it's your defense that's a concern and not the offense, because the offense was great. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great season, so look forward to that, but fix the defense. Alright, and heading to our next game, we have the Jags beating the Panthers 26-10, and to tell you the truth, the score's a little generous because the Panthers scored a garbage time touchdown, so it's really 26-3. But, I mean, yeah, the Jags looked a lot better in this game than they would if they had a bad coach. I think Liam Cohen is having a great start to his head coaching career, and, I mean, the Jags weren't flashy or anything. I mean, Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. didn't do a whole lot, but Travis Etienne picked up the slack in that department, and it was more than enough considering they won by essentially 3 scores, if we don't include the garbage time touchdown. And as for the Panthers, I don't know what to say. Bryce Young looks terrible. Like, he looks almost as bad as he did at the start of his second season, and that was very bad. And I think it was dumb that they got rid of Adam Thielen. I mean, he was a good target for Bryce Young to have, and I think without him, he just looked lost. And we'll see how they do next week, but there's a lot of concerns with the Panthers. Alright, and heading to our next game, we have the Cardinals beating the Saints 20-13. And this game was pretty close. A lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought the Cardinals were going to crush the Saints. But the old saying is, a win's a win, and 1-0 is better than 0-1. So good for the Cardinals for not losing to the Saints. And, I mean, this was my lock of the week, and I was getting a little scared that the Cardinals were going to blow it, but thankfully they were able to hang on. Kyler Murray had himself a pretty decent game. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a good game too, and James Conner got himself into the end zone. So I like the offense, and to an extent, it could have been a little better, but they did enough to win, and that's all that matters. And as for the Saints, I mean, hell, I'll give you guys some credit. I mean, you guys made the game a lot closer than I thought you would. I thought you guys were going to get blown the fuck out, but you guys hung in there, so credit to you for doing that. I'm not sure how you'll do the rest of the season, but, you know, there's no such thing as moral losses, but, you know, this one is pretty close to that, so credit to you guys. Alright, and heading to the next game, we have the Commanders beating the Giants 21-6. And this game was about what I expected. The Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, they looked pretty good. Deebo Samuel, of all people, had a really good game too. And Terry McLaurin was a little quiet, but obviously it didn't matter because they won by 15. So good for the Commanders for taking care of the Giants, and their defense looked a lot better than I thought they would. As for the Giants, I mean, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. The Giants do this all the time. They always get your hopes up. They brought in Russell Wilson, so things are going to be different. And they have Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy. They have potential, but it's like, it doesn't matter if they're just going to be flat all the time on offense. And honestly, I don't know how much longer Brian Daboll has as a head coach. I think he's going to get fired very soon, considering that he just isn't good at coaching. Like, it's just, I mean, that's a dumb answer, but it's true. I mean, no matter what his quarterback is, it seems that he always does worse on the Giants than he does on another team. Like, Russ did all right, and then he got to the Giants, and he looks bad now. So we'll see how long he starts. But, yeah, it's not looking good for Big Blue. All right, and heading to the next game, we have one of the better matchups. Not the best matchup, but we'll get to that later. You have the Bucs beating the Falcons 23-20. And honestly, the Bucs, they were able to rally from being down, because they were down by a little bit in the fourth quarter, but they were able to, you know, take care of it and come out with a victory. So good for them for doing that. I know it was a little iffy in the first half for them, but other than that, they were able to get the win, and you can't ask for much more than that. As for the Falcons, I mean, you guys honestly probably should have won this game. I'm not going to hate on you guys too much because, Michael Penix looked really good. Like, he looked better than I thought he would, considering how good the Bucs defense can be at times. So, good for him for working with what he has. And he did not lose this team the game. It was the Falcons kicker, Younghoe Koo, who couldn't make a field goal to save his life. So, it's unfortunate, but I think you guys will be all right in the long run. All right, and heading to an AFC North clash-up, we have the Bengals beating the Browns 17-16, and the Bengals have done it. They won their first season opener for the first time since 2021. Was it pretty? Absolutely not. They won by 1 point against a bad Browns team, but a win's a win, and good for them for finally getting a win in Week 1. And as for the Browns, I mean, I don't know what to say here. You guys really should not have lost this game. There's making one or two errors to lose a game, and then there's what the Cleveland Browns did. They missed an extra point, which would have tied the game, and they also missed a field goal that would have put them up by 2. They had every opportunity to win this game, and they just couldn't do it. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. The Browns are the Browns, and they always do shit like this, but yeah, I don't know what to say. I really don't think they're going to be that good. I mean, they couldn't beat the Week 1 Bengals, and the Week 1 Bengals are pretty bad, but Bengals are able to get a win, so congrats to them. All right, and heading to the next game, we have the Raiders beating the Patriots 20-13. And a lot of people thought the Patriots were going to win this game. I did not. I actually did think the Raiders were going to win, so I guess I got that pick on people. But, I mean, yeah, it looked like the Patriots kind of struggled, which I figured they would, considering that have a not brand new, but they have a new head coach. They have a couple of new guys on offense, like Stephon Diggs. Going to take some getting used to. And, I mean, it's week 1. You never know. I think they're going to be fine. I really don't think this is anything to get too worried about because, I mean, the Raiders do have some people on defense that are really disruptive, like Max Crosby. And, yeah, I think you guys will be good. You guys will probably win in week 2, considering how bad the Dolphins look. So, good on you for that. And as for the Raiders, congrats on starting 1-0. You got Geno Smith in the backfield being quarterback. You got Pete Carroll as your head coach. And you guys might sneak in the playoffs. We'll have to see about that, but you guys are going to be a pretty dangerous team. All right, and heading to our first 4 o'clock game, you have the 49ers beating the Seahawks 17-13. And this game was definitely not the most exciting game in the world. But you know what? At the end, it was pretty exciting because the 49ers, they were down by, I believe, 3. I think it was 13-10, I believe. And then they were able to get a go-ahead touchdown with about a minute or so left. So that was pretty cool that they were able to get themselves that victory. And as for the Seahawks, I mean, I wouldn't say this is extremely concerning. I mean, I did think the 49ers are a very talented team. So I think this was going to be a tough game for the Seahawks to win. Hence why I didn't pick them. So I think you guys will be good. I don't think Sam Darnold is that bad. I know some people think he's like terrible, but I think he'll be fine. I think they'll get it together or later in the season. And yeah, that's what I got to say about this game. All right, and heading to our next 4 o'clock game, you have the Broncos beating the Titans 20-12. And this one, I have mixed feelings about this because I'm a Broncos fan and I'm glad that we won, but oh man, we did not look good. Our defense looked fine, but our offense looked very, very pedestrian. So I really don't know what to say about this. I mean, I will say this. I'm glad that we finally won a season opener for the first time since 2021. We were kind of the Bengals, but no one talked about it because the Broncos aren't as universally known as the Bengals. But it was good that we got the win, and I'd rather complain about a win than celebrate a loss. So that's how I'm going to look at this, and I think we'll be fine heading into week 2 against the Colts. And as for the Titans, I mean, this was just a tough game for them. I mean, you had Cam Ward making his first start against a very elite defense. So I think they were going to be behind the 8 ball the whole time, which is ironic because they lost by 8. And I think they'll make some progress. I do think Brian Callahan needs to be better about the penalties because the Titans had a lot of penalties in that game. So they need to work on that. If they're going to be a formidable opponent, they need to work on that, but it's hard to do worse than what they did in that game. So I think they'll be better inevitably, but yeah, you got to fix that shit. All right, and heading to our next game, we have the Packers beating the Lions 27-13. And I gotta give the Packers some credit. I really didn't think they were gonna win this game, and they ended up winning by 14. They're able to shut down the elite Lions offense, and I'm sure that Micah Parsons guy helped a lot with that. I think bringing him in was probably a good choice. So good for them for doing that. And I think it's going to prove to be beneficial for this season. I think they're going to have a great season, and we'll see what they do when they get to the playoffs. And as for the Lions, I mean, this doesn't look good. I mean, I know you guys don't have Ben Johnson, and it's week 1, and it's a transition period, but it's like, geez, I thought you guys would at least put up like 17 or 20 points. You couldn't even do that. And I mean, this was another game where the score was honestly prettier than the result because one of the Lions' touchdowns was also in garbage time. But I mean, I think they'll be fine. I trust Dan Campbell, and I think the Lions are going to still make the playoffs, and we'll see what they do when they get there. All right, and heading to our next game, we have the Rams beating the Texans 14-9. And yeah, this was definitely a game. It was a lot more low scoring than I thought. I mean, to be fair, both of these teams have good defenses, and I might have mentioned that I thought this game would be lower scoring, but I didn't think it would be this low scoring. I thought for sure the Texans would at least score a touchdown, but they didn't even do that. And the Rams, I will say, Puka Nacua looks really good. I think him and Matthew Stafford picked up right where they left off, and I don't think Davante Adams being there has impacted that at all. Kyren Williams, I think, got himself a touchdown, so it's good for him. Not pretty, but ugly wins are better than pretty losses, so good for the Rams for getting a win out of this. As for the Texans, I mean, I do think they'll be fine, but they need to watch out. I mean, they're actually tied for last in their division, and I'm sure a lot of people thought they were going to win the AFC South. So they got to pick it up if they want to win the AFC South for the third straight year. They need to, pick up the pace. So we'll see if they can do that, but I do think they will be fine. All right, and heading to probably the exact opposite of the game I just talked about, Sunday Night Football. This was the best game of the week by far. This was a great game, and I'm so glad I got to see it because, oh man, this was such a game. You had the Bills, who were down by 15 in the fourth quarter, coming back and winning by 1 point, 41-40. And, I mean, yeah, this just proves why Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. I know that might be a hot take, considering how many of the big four there are. But, I mean, he gets it done. It doesn't matter how bad his defense is. It doesn't matter how inconsistent his receivers can be. Like, he'll get it done. And not to say the Bills receivers were bad this game. They were not. But their defense, until the fourth quarter, looked pretty bad. But they were able to clamp down and get a win, so congratulations to them on winning one of these classic games for the first time. And as for the Ravens, I mean, I don't know what to say about them. They always, for some reason, lose the most random games. Like, every time they're up by like 10 or 15 in the fourth quarter, they always lose those games. Like, they don't lose the other games, but they always lose those games. And it's the weirdest thing. I don't know if it's John Harbaugh or if it's the Ravens, but, like, I don't get it. And it's like, they're a good team, too. I'm not trying to say they're not. I mean, both of these teams will make the playoffs. No doubt about that. But I don't know how the Ravens do it. I don't know how they lose these games specifically. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about them. And ending the week for Monday Night Football, you have the Vikings beating the Bears 27-24 in another come-from-behind victory. J.J. McCarthy's first start, it definitely had its downs, and then it had its ups. The Vikings were down by 11 heading into the fourth quarter. But then the fourth quarter, everything changed. J.J. McCarthy looked really comfortable. Like, he started to finally simmer into that offense, and he kind of realized, oh, I have Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Adam Thielen. Oh, yeah, I'm good. And he was able to get the Vikings 21 points en route to a victory, a come-from-behind victory. So congratulations to J.J. McCarthy for doing that. And as for the Bears, I mean, I don't know how you guys lost this game. You guys had this game in the bag. You guys should not have lost this game. But you guys did, and I'm not trying to say that Caleb Williams was bad or anything. He wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't put this on him, but it's like, I don't know. You guys need to close out games better, and a lot of teams need to do that, to be honest. And if you guys want to sneak into the playoffs, then you got to work on that. And that's going to do it for week 1. I'm sitting at 12-4 for my total record for all the games predicted. And thank you so much for watching this if you've made it this far, and I will see you guys on Thursday for my Week 2 NFL predictions. Peace out.